Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Entrepreneur Rescue Mission. This is a podcast from The Time to Grow, which is the company that Nancy and I run together. Super excited for today's episode. We're going to be talking about algorithms,
Oh, yay.
specifically LinkedIn algorithms. Now, you've noticed that was not singular, it was plural. I didn't say
Algorithm.
al I didn't say algorithm. I said algorithms, and there's a reason for that. So, Nance, before we get into today's topic, for someone that is not familiar with what an algorithm is and how that works within social media, specifically LinkedIn, can you break that down for the audience?
No, I think
So,
that
here's what
you
we're going to
can.
do.
I'm like, no, I say that it's so funny because yes, right, there are tons of different algorithms, that basically all the
It
marketers
was
are
a it was a
following.
it was a trick question, Nancy. I
Okay,
don't have to
I
I
was
don't
gonna say,
yeah.
I
This,
could take this. I could
yeah.
totally take it. But yeah, no.
So this is a question that Nancy and I get asked all the time. How do you beat the algorithm? How do you beat the algorithm?
All the
What,
time.
all the time. So what I will say is, interestingly enough, I spoke to this incredible chief data scientist. His name is Christopher Penn. You can find him on LinkedIn. And we had a really, really great conversation. And I was actually talking to him about the fact so many people are chasing the vanity metrics on LinkedIn. What are the vanity metrics?
Like
Impressions,
loves.
views,
Yep.
likes, all that stuff. So, Nancy, I'm going to ask you, what is the biggest known hack that people deploy on LinkedIn to try to beat the algorithm to get as many vanity metrics as possible?
People form little groups that we call engagement pods where
Now,
they
LinkedIn,
like
now,
and love each other's stuff.
now, Nancy, does LinkedIn love engagement pods for people to use them?
No, it does not, and it knows if you are doing them.
And what could happen if they catch you in an engagement pod?
Oh, they'll stop pushing your content.
And
And literally, the only likes and engagement you will get are from these people who are not your ideal clients. It's just those people.
and you could get your account restricted.
Oh, you can? I didn't
Yes.
even know that.
Yep. People have gotten their accounts restricted and blocked because of illegal participation in an engagement pod.
Yikes.
So, just to kind of break that down a little bit further, Nancy did a beautiful job. An engagement pod is basically a group of individuals. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, where you agree to like and comment on a certain number of people's content posted at the same time on specific days to take advantage of the LinkedIn algorithm to drive more visibility and traffic. Now, I was talking about this with Christopher Penn, and he said, Scott, the interesting thing is people can try to do that, but he goes, the one thing that you can't control is who is seeing your stuff. He goes, if you're going to participate in an engagement pod with 30 other people from 30 different industries that have 30 different networks that look nothing like the one that you want to penetrate, he goes, guess what? Your stuff will look like Swiss cheese, meaning your content will be shared in all these irrelevant networks of engagers that cannot even work with you. They're not your ideal target audience. So, Nancy, let me ask you this really quickly. How important is it outside of engagement pods and all that crap? How important is it to have that crystal clear focus of making sure that you have the right network on LinkedIn that is seeing your stuff? Because again, you don't have control who's seeing your stuff when you're in an engagement pod trying to beat this algorithm.
Yeah, I mean, well, so, with the algorithm changing so much, the things that we do know, right, that LinkedIn cares about, it loves, right, when people start conversation. It loves it when you're actually using the platform, right? It's kind of like the you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. If you're engaging with other people's, and when we're connecting with people who actually give two hoots, right, about the content that we're posting. So, for my clients, for example, right, I work with a lot of health insurance brokers. A lot of people come to my agency or come to wanting to create content, thinking, right, they've got this preconceived idea that we're just going to go ahead and create a bunch of content and it's just going to have
Blow
people
up.
banging down their doors. And mind you, right, this could be they have zero connections on LinkedIn and they're posting content and they're expecting every. No, right? It does not work that way. The reason why we have to build a network of connections of people who care is that we have a bigger audience of people to share it with. Yes, can some of your content get seen, whether it be newsletters or hashtags, different things like that? Yes, it can get seen outside of your network. But guys, we have to do the whole puzzle, right? We can't just do little pieces here and there. We've got to connect with the right people so that when we do post, right, it's stuff that they care about. So, for example, if it's someone who's in a big executive leadership role and you're posting really amazing tips or, very just awesome, posts about how to really engage your team and be a better leader, and they're really resonating with it, LinkedIn sees that and goes, "Ooh, they're putting out relevant content with these people. We're going to show more of these people and we're going to show more of their connections," right? Because just because you're connected to this thousand, amount of people, it doesn't mean that everyone's going to see your stuff. Okay, so it's all part of the big puzzle, and we've got to do all the pieces, not just one of the pieces. So that is huge for the algorithm. So again, making sure that you connect with the right people, that should be an ongoing process, right? You should be consistently, simultaneously growing your network a little bit more each day as you're also putting out some of that content.
Absolutely right. I could not agree more. And I'm going to finish with this. I led in today's episode with the plural algorithms. So in talking with Christopher Penn, he actually brought to my attention, he actually asked me, he goes, Scott, you keep mentioning algorithm on LinkedIn. I said, yeah. He goes, do you know how many algorithms LinkedIn actually has? I said, no. And he said, 12. I said, what? He said, yes. He said, so anytime you see someone posting or talking about some sort of algorithm hack, he said the actual number, or I would say lifespan of that hack actually being relevant, he said is about 60 minutes. He said every hour a new strategy is pushed out that basically becomes extinct an hour later. So I said, well, what's your advice on taking advantage of the algorithm or getting more organic engagement? He said, in all honesty, there's really not much you can control, but he goes, what you can control is the quality of your content. He goes, the more higher quality your content is, the more value added LinkedIn will see it and it will push it out to more people. So I'm going to wrap up today's episode with this. If someone was to ask me, Scott, how can I get more organic engagement and visibility on LinkedIn? What can I do? So here's the thing. Even if only one or two people are commenting on your posts, that is a great, great thing. And here's what I always tell people to do. If someone comments on your content, you're going to do three things. Number one, you're going to engage, meaning you're going to like their comment, love their comment, support their comment. So that's number one. Number two, you're going to acknowledge. So engage, acknowledge. What are you going to acknowledge? You're going to acknowledge their comment. Nancy, and you're going to tag them. So you do the at symbol, and I'll say, Nancy, thank you so much for supporting my post. The last thing that you're going to do is ask. So you're going to engage, acknowledge, ask. Well, what are you going to ask? A follow-up question. Questions lead to answers. So you make some post. Nancy says, oh, love this. Great post. I would engage, I would support it. I would say, Nancy, thank you so much for your support. What did you find most helpful with this post? Question mark. Then guess what? Nancy will respond back. What I found most helpful was blah, blah, blah. And when LinkedIn starts to see that there's an organic engagement going on, it's going to start pushing it out to more people. And then you're going to get more people visibly seeing your content. So that's the first thing that you can do. The second and final thing, every day, scroll through your LinkedIn newsfeed and pick two people that you have a relevant connection to, whether it's industry, maybe profession, maybe service or offering that they have. Like you have some synergy there, and they post content that kind of really hits home with you. Engage in their content, acknowledge their post, and then instead of you're going to engage, you're going to acknowledge, but then you're going to take action. That's the only difference. So, what does that mean, take action? What you're going to do is you're going to contribute to that person's post by adding extra value. So, say Nancy posts something about understanding the ladder of value of your offerings, right? And she does a great post about it. I would engage it. I would, like or love it. I would say, Nancy, awesome post about, the ladder of value of offerings. In addition, it's also important to dot, dot, dot. So I would add extra information on top of that, which will put my comment as the most relevant comment within that person's feed, within that content, which is going to give me more visibility. Which, if it gives me more visibility, people will click on my name, they'll go to my profile, and then they'll start engaging with me that way. So instead of going down that rabbit hole of trying to beat the 12 LinkedIn algorithms that there are, or illegally taking part in a LinkedIn engagement pod, provide high valued content that causes engagement where you can then engage, you can acknowledge, and then you can ask, or go to other people's content, engage, acknowledge, action. Take action and give other value added information. Nance, anything you want to wrap up with?
No, I mean, I just think, again, I think we overthink it so much, right? About like the content we create and all these things, and we obsess over these metrics. I just think everything, again, let it be known, right? Those things are not the things that we have to obsess over, right? It's all part of the big picture, and we've got to use LinkedIn the right way. And so we are creating something really awesome. In fact, stay tuned, you guys. There's going to be a wait list. So if you visit thetimeToGrow.com, you can sign up to be a first and only, right, founder for Expert Content Society. So it is a content community all geared around helping you guys create amazing content on LinkedIn, right? A very common question we get is, well, what the heck kind of content do I create on LinkedIn? Well, guess what? We solve that for you by doing a monthly, short, sweet, simple little workshop. We give you some ideas and even reverse engineer some of the best posts out there, give you some swipe files, give you some ideas on how you can share your stories, your business, your expertise very authentically in monthly playbooks, AI prompting, and more. So it's going to be really exciting. If you guys want to sign up, again, just go to thetimetogrowcom and look for Expert Content Society. We are so incredibly excited and hope you guys will join us when we open the doors.
Awesome. So, as always, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. We're looking forward to giving you guys more deep value in the coming episodes. So, everyone, please enjoy the rest of your days. Love and gratitude, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye bye.